Today I want to dive into, okay, I don't know if this is going to work because ah, my phone thing is like messed up. So I'm trying to like not break my phone while I'm doing this. Okay. So I am trying to like place my phone on my laptop and we'll see what happens. Oh my gosh. It's so precarious. If I put my phone on my laptop, the microphone is like muted, so it just doesn't work. And I can't figure out like a way to like hold it up. Let's see. Let me see if this will work. Hold on. Okay, I'm just gonna have to like hold it. I'm so sorry. Alrighty. Well, I wanted to talk about my just want to talk about like therapists and like suffering. How we suffer and we think, okay, this is the roadmap to success. This is what I need to do to get to my next goal. Um, okay, let me see if this will work. Hmm, maybe not. Hmm, see if this will work. Oh, it works. Ooh, okay, I just need to not move it. Okay, so when I think of like our therapists, our mental health therapists, women of color therapists, we are probably the first in our family to go to grad school. We're probably the first in our family to live in this ambiguous space of like having a higher education degree, advanced degree, while doing a service related job. So a lot of us go into grad school probably doing like engineering or law related or medical related work. Um, but we're like going to grad school, putting ourselves through intentional suffering, like the intentional suffering of like debt, the intentional suffering of papers, added work. And it, we know, like a lot of us enter into this knowing that we won't earn a lot of money. I know it's so strange to think of it that way, but like just going back to what you thought of growing up, like your past version of yourself, you're like, you know what? I'm intentionally, as a woman of color, mental health therapist. Okay, if y'all don't know me, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Angela Tam. I'm a mental health therapist of 10 plus years slash entrepreneur slash coach for mental health therapists who are trying to work their way out of burnout and trying to create a different legacy for themselves and their family. Um, so I do that through like attachment wound healing work in my coaching practice, and I have a group coaching program that works with mental health therapists specifically, non-black women of color mental health therapists, so they could come home to their body, so that they can feel safe in their body, and they can work from a place of safety and intuition rather than from this other parts of them that create and perpetuate burnout and oppression for themselves. So, um, some of the things that I noticed was we go into this field as women of color therapists extremely ambitious. We're like the first in our family to do higher education, and not only that, but like advanced degrees. We're the first in our family to be serving folks in this way. There's probably no other mental health therapist in your direct family or line of ancestral line. Maybe you have healers in your line, but you're the first to do this kind of work, healing work. And with that comes like goals that you might have. A goal, even though you know that you won't earn a lot of money, as when you went into this field as younger version of yourself, you knew that you wanted to somehow um, earn a living for your family. You wanted to, some of your goals, my high achieving therapist friends out there might be thinking, oh, I want to like scale my practice. I want to like earn more money getting out of the one on one work. Or I want to like be in a leadership position in a group practice where like I could possibly own a group practice. Or I want to be a supervisor for other clinicians. I want to run training groups. I want to run consult groups. Maybe that's your goal. Maybe your goal is to like also teach classes as an adjunct professor at your local university that you graduated from. Or maybe you want to like eventually do more speaking engagements, some high profile speaking engagements. Maybe you want to do podcasting. Maybe you want to like do course selling and training work. Or maybe you really just want to be a worker, be all your life, like a technician who is on the ground working with clients. And maybe that's your goal. And maybe what you're thinking is, oh, it would be a bonus if I had work life balance. It would be a bonus if I enjoyed my work. It would be a bonus if my work was sustainable. It would be a bonus if I had freedom and flexibility to travel whenever I wanted, to unschool my kids, to road school my kids, or to like just even if you don't have kids, like take vacations, work from, your Airbnb abroad. Maybe you're like thinking that would be a bonus, but that is definitely not part of what you expect when you think of achieving your goals. Because when you think of achieving your goals, you're thinking what is required is for you to hustle, for you to suffer, for you to like work long hours, for you to like earn your keep as like a baby therapist and like hustle, hustle, hustle. Suffering to me in the mental health context means you're seeing clients you don't want to see. Maybe you're at an agency, a group practice, and you have no control over who your clients are. Another form of suffering in the therapy world is seeing clients when you don't want to see them, working nights and weekends, and having no time control. Maybe you are wanting to do, you're doing work that you don't want to do. Like maybe you don't want to do clinical work anymore. Maybe you don't want to um, do therapy anymore, but you're like suffering through it. Another form of suffering in the mental health field is you're doing work that you don't want to do with, you're doing work that you want to do, but not with people that you want to do it with in like your agency or group practice. You don't believe in the mission or the values and you really like feel demoralized and stuck. But maybe you're trying to do the loan forgiveness program and you're trying to like just like put your head down for 10 years and try to endure. So when I think of suffering, I think of like, as a mental health therapist, you're giving yourself to someone or a group that you don't believe in. You're feeling responsible for your client's well being way beyond what's appropriate. You're like thinking about them, just like you're preoccupied with them outside of your working hours. Maybe you're like struggling when your client sees you're struggling when you see your clients struggle to make progress. You're stressed about them when you're not seeing them and you're constantly thinking about them. That's what I think of as suffering. And a lot of people think those things are mandatory. They think that those things like working nights and weekends, seeing people that you don't want to see, working with people that you don't want to work with, being in environments that you don't want to be in is mandatory. And I'm here to tell you that it is not mandatory. There is a world where you can be a mental health therapist and not suffer. You can have work life balance. You can have freedom. You can have, you know, like you can have like a life outside of being a therapist. You don't have to have a life where you're like basically tethered like a ball. Like what is that? Like a weighted ball to this identity as a therapist and the roles attached to it is like professional sufferer and like it's a badge of honor to be suffering to do all these things because that's part of like the road to success and that is not what I'm advocating. I'm also not advocating that you like you don't have success, that you don't have dreams, that you don't shoot for the moon. I'm just saying, like, let's expand our ideas of success. Let's expand our dreams to include flexibility, to include balance, to include capacity, to have friends. I mean, like, I'm just thinking about me as a baby therapist, and even me now, like, I'm just seeing like 8 to 10 clients a week. And that feels like a lot to me, just like in my capacity as I'm holding my 3 kids and then my own social life. And I know some folks are who are seeing 20, 30 clients and they're like wondering, wow, why am I so burnt out? Why am I so tired? And there is a world in 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 my perspective that you can see clients and have friends, have capacity to have friends because your emotional capacity and bandwidth is protected. Hi, Erica. And I wanted to advocate that there is a space where you can see clients, you can do your therapy work, and have the capacity to hold your own sufferings, to hold your own crises, to manage your own crises. I know a lot of folks in as therapists, like I don't know if this resonates with you, Erica. I don't know what field you're in, but like in the therapy field, a lot of therapists don't even have the capacity to manage our own. I'm going to just speak for myself to manage my own crises. I remember when in 2019, when my dad was diagnosed with middle stage dementia, and he actually also suffered a stroke at that time. I just remember thinking, like, the only thing that was on my mind was like, my clients, like, how do I tell my clients and work with them during the season? How do I hold my clients' experiences, their inner experiences of whatever their crises are they're in, and like my crises that I'm in? Like, how do I hold both? How do I have capacity to take care of myself and prioritize myself? That, like, I know for a fact that our capacity is so limited to take care of folks, but so often we just believe that we just need to suffer through and just like consider this the norm. The norm is um like I need to make a living. When clients pay me, there's a transaction and there's expectations that I will give them myself. I will be an emotional sponge. I will be splayed open and just like receive all this like receive their shit, receive their venting, receive their whatever it is that they want to share with me. And that is like that is what we see as effective therapy. As like effective therapy is like if my client feels better at the end of their session, even if it means that it comes at a cost of me, I'm successful. Like, that is at least what I thought for a long time. Like, I just need to do what I need to do to help my client feel better at the end of the session so they could come back every week. And I just wanna normalize this feeling of, like, I need to do more. When my clients are not happy, when my clients are not feeling well, I need to do more. If I'm not feeling well, I need to do more. I need to pour my heart and soul into this group practice, or if I don't believe in it, or my private practice because my life depends on it, my well-being depends on it. That feeling of I need to do more is normal. That feeling of I need to do more is it's part of the intergenerational systemic messages that we hear, and that's for another day, another like live stream for another day. But when we the impact of that is like we end up our behaviors end up being informed by that feeling. So like the behavior of like, oh yeah, okay, I need to work longer hours, I just need to do more research, I need to get trained in more modalities, because I'm just not doing a good enough job. I need to go on vacation, or I need to volunteer and in my passion project. I need to work longer hours. I need to get more clients. Like, is that something that you find yourself doing when you feel like when you have the feeling of like I need to do more? For me, that's what I end up doing. Like for my previous versions of myself, I ended up just like being like, you know what? I'm just going to work more. I'm just going to distract myself by going on vacation. How can we redefine success so that it includes our nice to haves, like category stuff of like work life balance, which I don't believe in. I know that term is like overused, but like appropriate seasonal needs being met. And like how do I incorporate the definition of success to be process oriented versus like binary? Oh, I need to hit my 5,000K a month, 10,000K a month. And if I don't hit it, then I'm a failure. That's like a binary goal. And how do you incorporate freedom and flexibility and sustainability into your goals as a therapist? So I'm curious about that. And something that I would kind of question if you wonder if you're struggling with this, like, am I do do I am I enrolling in this idea of suffering as like a badge of honor, or like something that is like what I believe is like necessary to success? If you say these things to yourself, then you might. So I want to give some examples. Some examples are like, as soon as I'm done with my agency work, as soon as I'm done with my community mental health work, as soon as I'm done with my group practice work, then I will have balance. As soon as I finish working with this difficult client, then I can relax. As soon as I finish this thing off my list, as soon as I like get what I am going for, I can have more freedom. This belief, if you tell yourself these things, that is part of you enrolling to this mindset of like suffering equals success. Suffering is a road to success. This is like part of the lie. That part of the lie is also like if you believe that you need to do something perfectly, if you need to like help this client exquisitely, understand this client exquisitely, attuned to them so exquisitely, if you believe that you need to be martyr to to your to your clients, to put your own needs in the back burner, like if your client's like, I can only meet on Saturday morning, and you're like, well, I really need the Saturday morning. You're telling yourself this, I'm trying to protect my nights and weekends, but also I don't want to disappoint this person. I don't want to like, I've been working with this client for a while and they mean a lot to me. So I'm just going to say yes. Like, if there is a self martyring spirit, or if there's like a need to self sacrifice, and you might feel guilty, for example, for taking time for yourself, or saying no to weekend clients, or like enjoying your life, even that is part of the embedded narrative of suffering that us therapists go through. And my solution that I want to propose is not to dream smaller. Like, I don't believe that we should dream smaller, that we shouldn't shoot for the moon, that we shouldn't have these like big goals. I think those goals are amazing. And in fact, like what I believe is to even dream bigger, because I don't even believe that we're dreaming big enough. But I think I want to propose that we don't need to suffer to get there. And I think this comes from a narrative of like you need to work hard in order to earn money. I think a lot of us folks, women of color, people of color, really believe that we need to hustle in order to earn money. And that is a misconception. That's like a narrative that does not serve us. And I want to also reaffirm to folks that you are capable of suffering, you are capable of hustling, you are capable of working hard, but is it really necessary? No, I don't believe it's necessary. The solution is to redefine success by expanding our markers of success, of like expanding it from like, oh, I want to own a group practice one day, or I want to like invent a training course, or I want to be like a trainer, or I want to write a book. I want to be um like earn my money through speaking engagements. Um Redefine your success by expanding it to I want to do all those things and do it with ease. I want to do all those things and have flexibility and freedom. I want to do all those things and have my fries and eat it too, have my cake and eat it too. I want it all. I want, like, I want to be comfortable and look good. Like, that is, I know that that's a hard thing. Like, for my clothing choices, the number one factor that informs it is comfort. And comfort doesn't always mean that you look good, but I'm still slowly finding like certain things that fit in that realm. So like I was just like joking with someone the other day that like cost shopping at Costco gets me because it's like you could have comfort and you don't it's not that I look good in those clothes, but I look like good enough to not feel like shit. So, like, Costco clothes, like, they're I know it's part of fast fashion, and the ethics of it is very terrible because they probably have, like, child laborers, somewhere in another country trying to, like, like, create the clothes, and so that is unethical. But, I to find ethical clothes that are comfortable, and look good, I want that. I want it all. And I'm picky about my fabrics too. I like linen, I like cotton, 100% cotton. I want it all. I want the clothes that look good and don't cause my thighs to chafe in the summer because I got thick thunder thighs. I'm beginning to be very proud of. So like I'm like, can I have it all? Yeah, I can have it all. It requires some creativity and flexibility and like kind of exploration, but I can have it all. Is it realistic? Part my like automatic brain says no. My automatic brain says shut that down. My automatic brain says go for the dysfunctional, go for the chaos, go for the suffering because you're more familiar with the suffering. But I'm not trying to listen to my automatic brain. I'm not trying to listen to my brain that is a brain that's actually trained to keep me in survival mode. It's not interested in me thriving. It's interested in me being in survival mode, doing what I've been doing all these years, which is hustling, struggling, and suffering through being a therapist. And that is part of what we've been conditioned to do. Not only is it like familiar with us, it's actually a deep programming that we've had that's not an accident. Like it's how we were set up in this world. We're like born with the with the like systemic forces that are like very intentionally chiseling our programming in our minds so that we're being set up to suffer. And so this is why I'm like really passionate about this program that I've created, this group coaching program. And let me tell you, we are accepting people on the wait list. My program officially starts on May 31st. So it's like next Wednesday at 2 o'clock. And so, yeah, the 31st. And so I am like, if you want to apply for it, you can definitely apply for it and like slide in right before it starts. And then after that, I'm going to close it and open my wait list for my next program. But let me explain my program. So, my program helps therapists, women of color therapists, to come home to ourselves. The idea is that we can't do things unless we can't change or make decisions unless we know how to experience safety in our bodies. And in order to come home to ourselves and experience safety in our bodies, in our metaphorical homes, we have to examine all the cracks, the shadows, the hallways, the attics, the basements, the crawl space, the electrical system in our homes, all the rooms in our homes that are scary to go into, the closets that have all the skeletons inside. And when we do so, when we do this in community with each other, we like visit each other's homes in community with each other because it's a group coaching program. We actually like strengthen the foundation of our home. We actually like begin to like strengthen the load bearing walls. We start to um like clean out the vents, clean out the pipes, clean out the air ducts in our homes. We start to actually heal our homes. And the idea is like there's different rooms that we avoid because there are different memories in those rooms that are related to them that have trauma. There's like different, and our rooms represent different parts of us, our emotional, different emotions, different like parts of us, younger parts that hold their own behaviors and beliefs. And we have caretakers in the home, the responsible family members that like keep the home running. We also have like emergency response members that are like crises responders, and they are part of the like ecosystem of our metaphorical home. And the idea that when we are in this mode of like suffering and hustling, it's actually because our home is not in order. Our metaphorical home is not in order. Like maybe, have you, I don't know if you've seen Bridgerton, the show on BBC that's like replaying on Netflix, where there's like, goes back to like English post feudalistic like portrayals of like wealthy families that have hundreds of staff members in their home, and every single staff member has their roles and you get to know the background story of each person. Well, we have like metaphorical homes like that in our bodies. And the idea is like when we are operating in this like hustle mode, suffering mode, burnout mode, it's because like we're not operating from a place of self leadership. Self leadership is when our core self, our highest self, our most intuitive self is in relationship and in leadership to our different parts. Like if you think of our parts as inhabiting different closets or rooms in the house, or like different caretakers or emergency trauma staff, like emergency response staff, excuse me, like if our higher self is not in leadership with those parts, our homes are going to be chaotic. And when we think of like what it's like to operate out of chaos as a therapist, you're going to be influenced by your client's chaos. You're going to be influenced by their you're going to feel like their chaos and it's going to rub off on you. And so, like, when I think of like my group coaching program is helping ourselves come home to ourselves and how we learn how to nurture our internal homes through experiential practices to unburden these caretakers or parts of us that have been shoved away or are like overworked by using experiential practices, demonstrations that we'll do together, meditations to foster self awareness and compassion. Most importantly, we use each other as company to navigate these scary spaces. When we learn to nurture our home, we know how to deal with polarizations, the parts of us that want success, but also feel like they need to suffer. So there's ambivalence, so you might be stuck in like procrastination mode for like leveling up your private practice, hiring employees, or whatever it may be. Um, like you, there's polarizations, there might be polarizations around marketing where you're like, wow, I want to put out my business and I want to like have a public facing like opportunity to like share and communicate my business values and my private practice, but I don't want to self promote. Self promotion feels scary. That's a polarization. Like we can't deal with these polarizations unless we have self leadership. And this is part of my program is we work with the different parts of you and we create a home that you could come back to. And that home is in your body. That home is coming back to your home means befriending your nervous system, which is like the electrical highway of your home. And we look at patterns about emotional numbness, tendency for avoidance of conflict, or attraction towards high conflict, high dysfunction relationships, addiction to being overworked. And that addiction to being overworked can be passed down from one generation to another. We work on beliefs surrounding self-worth or safety that's influenced by like ancestral trauma. And we talk about ancestral wisdom, like receiving ancestral wisdom. So if y'all have any questions, let me know, slide into my DMs. My group coaching program starts next Wednesday. Please consider joining, book a call with me. The link is in the bio. Go to theunburnoutstrategy.com, click book a call, fill out the application, schedule a call with me, and I'll jump on with you right away to answer your questions and to see if we're a good fit. And if we are, I'll enroll you right away and we'll start the next day. I look forward to talking to you. Send me your questions over DMs. And if you're watching this in the replay, let me know. Drop a comment in the replay that I'll post to my feed. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.